don't mind me. It's pop in here. What's up, everybody? Rage Cage 20 here, back with Ascension album by Otep here. I don't know. I tried to say Otep, but then I started with Ascension, so I was like, how do I make this work? Otep, the Ascension album. We are here on the last song of the album, and the last song we're going to do. Let me explain. So, first off, this song is 10 minutes long. I did not see that coming. Of course, it is the last one in the album, so that makes sense, but damn, is that long. But I was also thinking about it. I looked into the other three bonus songs. None of them have music videos or anything like that. I listened to snippets of two of them, of Special Pets and Necessary Accessories. And they pretty much sound like pretty much just standard Otep affair. And the last one, I think, was just a poetry reading. There's no videos of it except for, I think, of Otep reading it as poetry. So I was just like, I don't think I'm going to do the bonus tracks. Now, if there is one you're just like, no, like you didn't listen to the right parts, I just like skimmed through. I just clicked on different sections, just listened for like 3 to 5 seconds. And I was just like, yeah, it pretty much sounds like all the other songs on the album. But if there's one that's like, no, I know this one will change a lot, it's like the shit, let me know and I'll consider it. But I think we're gonna end with this one here, because I've enjoyed listening to Otep. However, I'm really excited to get onto the other stuff, which there will be chapters in here, as always. But which, if you didn't know, skip to or stay around for the end, because we're going to go over what's coming in the future like we do at all of these albums. I pretty much already did it for 1 million times for Stitches. I've already talked about this, so this will kind of be going over everything, and I'm pretty sure that one's going to come out first. But you never know how these things fall sometimes. Especially since this one's only going to be 13 songs in the album instead of 16, so this one might come out first. But if you want a potentially more in-depth one, I'd say go listen to 1,000 million times by Stitches, or just skip to the end of that one anyways. But there'll be chapters, so come check that out at the end. It'll be wonderful. But it is time for us to sign off here on Otep with Adrenochrome Dreams. That's the song we have here today. And I looked it up, and that actually is a word by itself. It's not two words put together. There is actually a word by itself, and I actually still have the definition up. I forgot that. Adrenochrome is a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline. So adrenal glands. There you go. It was subject of limited research from the 1950s through the 1970s as a potential cause of schizophrenia. While it has no current medical application, the related derivative compound carbazochrome, how the fuck you pronounce that, is a hemostatic medication. There you go. The more you know. So yeah, that sounds interesting. It's a long 10-minute, so we're going to end this album out in style. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. Adrenochrome. I think Adreno. Pretty sure. So Adrenochrome Dreams by Otep. Let's see what Dr. Shimada has for Shimada. Let's see what Dr. Shimada has for us here. Do have the volume up, right? Okay. I'm not hearing anything. Are y'all hearing something? There's music to this, right? There's no sound in this. Am I missing something?
Next to each other.
Oh, shit. Hold on, let me check. This is by Dr. Shimai, right? Yeah, the other ones are that one still says 956, but it's Anyways, yeah, this one's like 6:30. So okay, right. Skip ahead here. Hold on. Get back in it. Okay, there we go. 332. Nope, I was already full screen. My bad. Okay. Hey, the more you know. Let's start this again.
I had this dream where I woke up to a grand commotion, and I jumped from the blankets and ripped the door from its lock and rushed, blindly into the blackness of the hallway. But there, on all sides, lying next to each other, were rows and rows of executioners. Some were shirtless, bulbous, and throbbing with anticipation, sweat delicately sneaking through their body hair. All were hooded. Some like 17th century guillotine henchmen. Others had crudely made hoods like scarecrows, or some had ripped ski masks soiled with slobber from their clenching jaws. Some had burlap masks sewn together, and they looked like they were made of human skin. Each one held a weapon. Large mallets, crudely fashioned axes, and large clubs, pipes. But I wasn't compelled to retreat. No, I was forced to move between them, past their swinging weapons, the clubs, the bats, the slicing tools, the shovels, the large and small axes, thick boards with nails, staples, and razor blades embedded in them, taking the beating, falling down, getting up again and again and again and again, driven to make it out at any cost. And then next, stumbled into this strange marshy world where I was oddly drowning squirrels and other large starving rodents, From above, out of the treetops, several dolls fell from the branches where they were hanging, nooses made of human hair. They started biting and sucking and trying to feed from me, trying to enter my belly, and some pushed large needles into my veins, and as I look back, some had nails through their hands, torsos, and throats. Others froze, dead eyes, carbonized. As I kicked them away, I could see all around me the piles and piles of dead sea life. Large fish, smelly crustaceans covered all in death shrouds. Their soulless, empty bodies whispered a secret language I couldn't decipher, but somehow understood. And their cries were, "Feed me, feed me." They wanted me to devour those around them, chew them up into a paste, and smear them inside their mouths. And as I I turned around, I could see the shape of a woman, perfect, perfectly erotic, squatting over a pile of these dead things. And as I ran to her and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she had no face. And then she turned the glass and suddenly cracked and then exploded into 1,000 pieces at my feet. And just as I took a quick breath, this world was shoved and decimated by an intruding tidal wave of microorganisms, neutrinos, exploding atoms, and binding molecules. I was suddenly in the room again, frightened, aching, and alone. And that's what I remember most. The ache. I can't escape. The ache. I can't escape.
If you were if you were going to tell me, right, that this is what I was going to be listening to today, if you would have told me, if you would have described kind of what this song, technically song, was, I would be like, okay, I can see that because it's Otep. But if you were going to tell me specifically, if I was going to wake up and future me was going to be standing there and be like, today, this is what you're going to hear, I would look at my future self. We're getting into our own little trippy dream world right here. I look at my future self and I would say, that's not what I thought I was going to walk into today. that would be the conversation I would have. I'd also be like, is time travel real and how the fuck did you get here? But that's like the story for another day. Am I tripping? Do I have a tumor or something? Is this a hallucination? We don't need to get into that story. That is beyond. Like, there's songs. Okay, let's just grab this. There's songs and whatnot. I'm just like, that's not what I saw coming. That's not even what I had. That's not even what I pictured this song was gonna be like. Like, totally threw me off. That's not what I expected. We have that as our base round example. Like, that happens. This is beyond. Like, get out of here. Not what the fuck I expected today. Like, this is not what I saw coming. With that being said, we were just talking about her poetry writing in the other one. First off, the last song. Something out there. I imagine this was a dream that she had. It definitely sounds like a drug trip, though Adrenochrome itself doesn't sound like it's necessarily a drug, though you can like harvest adrenaline and shoot it straight into the body as if it is a drug, to get it to activate in your system and whatnot. So maybe maybe she, just did a little square and then had a dream. I like went to sleep to see what would happen or something. I don't fucking know. Or maybe this is like, since it mentioned schizophrenia, maybe this is like a look inside the chaos of a schizophrenic brain or something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I was thinking when this song started, well, I mean, technically any assortment of pitches and tones and stuff is considered a song. That is considered music. And when you put it all together and construct it all together, that is a song. So this technically does qualify as a song, especially with the bass guitar and stuff helping to create tone and whatnot. So this definitely can be considered a song and not just poetry reading, or just storytelling. But all songs are storytelling technically. Just putting that one out there. But yeah, not just speaking, recorded speech. But I was listening to the first part here. First off, I'm glad it didn't necessarily go where I thought it was going to go, because I didn't think the group of men, I think she said they were. Well, she's a henchman. Rows of executioners, some were shirtless and throbbing with anticipation, sneaking through their body hair. I mean, technically, that does not mean men. So, just humans. The large group of humans that were there. I honestly, I did not think that they were gonna. I thought they were there for something else. Like, I thought she was gonna walk into the middle of that, and they were all gonna take turns on her, if you know what I mean. I thought that's what that was going. Glad it didn't, but also it was still pretty fucking crazy, all the same. But when we were getting through that part, and then all of a sudden she went to the like swampland, the marsh. There it is, the marshy world. I was just in there, just like, how is this not? Like, this is that kind of trippy horror stuff that's either like in a TV show, or like how is this I feel like this should be in like D&D level storytelling right here. Like, I could easily see like describing this to someone, like changing a few things up obviously to match the character, but kind of describing it to them as a dream that they're having, like a horrible nightmare that they wake up from, that kind of like means something, like something's to come or something from their past or something. Like, this was like that level of writing. Like, it was compelling and fascinating. I feel like we need to listen to the beginning. We're obviously not going all the way back through that. 332, I do remember that. I'm going to go scroll there now while that number's still fresh in my brain. We need to look at some of the stuff in the beginning and just a few of the words. We're definitely not going all the way back through that. There's no reason really to go all the way back through that. Yeah, this definitely sounds like a horribly trippy nightmare. Like, you did some fucked up drugs, went to sleep and saw some shit. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fascinating, and she's telling it as if she's telling it to somebody specifically, like almost she's giving a statement to police about like what happened or something, you know what I mean? Like, kind of that way it's being delivered. I'm gonna reset the video here, don't mind me. God damn, dude. That was not what I expected, but that was different. Like, the only thing that I've heard kind of close to this was, believe it or not, Alanis Morissette. Now, I know a lot of people say Alanis. I prefer Alanis, personally. The end of her Jagged Little Pill album, where she kind of just recites kind of poetry like this, but does in a little bit of a like kind of like repeating a cappella singing style, was just the same kind of notes and intervals and stuff, just repeated for each line. Just very quiet, kind of like no sound except for her singing, talking, and just a little bit echoey about her like breaking into what she thought was her boyfriend's house. Well, she thought he was her boyfriend. It was the right person's place. Like she breaks into his house and starts like like laying in his bed, using his shower, smelling his shit, pretty much like that kind of stalker level. Then finds out like through like a picture or something that like, oh, we're not actually dating like I thought. He's seeing someone else and he's coming home, and sneaks out the house or something like that. Not since that have I heard really anything like this. So unique, check. Like this is definitely the unique shakeup that I was kind of looking for, but I did not know that it was going to happen in this style. But yeah, no, all of this should be like told in a D&D story. Like I'm going to use this kind of shit to like inspire me if I am ever running a campaign again, and give someone a horrible dream or whatnot. I'm going to use this, draw inspiration from this, because this is... So we're going to just pop back in here very briefly, because I only have a few things written down here. We'll just get a taste of that from the sounds and everything in the beginning, and then just like a few seconds of how she's singing all this stuff. But I'll just... The first thing I said was trippy, dark horror, because like again, this could be turned into a horror movie, like for sure, like some kind of like, I was gonna say demon possession movie, but also just some kind of horror movie where a character is having a nightmare and like all this stuff is happening before their eyes, kind of thing, like yeah, like it easily could be. Then said it's in a round, just a 2-part round, not like multiple starts. But what that means, if you don't know what a round is musically, usually you break up to at least 3 different groups. Like you have a song or something, or you have a line, a melodic phrase, or whatnot, and one person or group of people will start playing it, and they'll get maybe 2, 4. Or so, however many you want, depending on how it sounds sonically and how long the entire passage and or sheet paper music is. So let's say 4 bars. They'll go for 4 bars, and then the next group or next person will start at the beginning, and that one group will keep going, and then 4 more bars goes by, and then the next group or person will start, and so you have 3 things going at the same time. It's repeating the same thing technically, but at different places. Then one will end, the other 2 will keep going, then that one will reach the end, and then the last is just down to the last voice kind of thing. Frere Jacques is a good example of like when you're teaching people like 6th graders and stuff how to learn music. That's a good one that usually repeating around. London Bridge is also a good one, a popular one. Just stuff like that. So she starts telling this story, going through this dream, reliving this dream. Sorry, I was just reading the lyrics and I got confused for a second, but then I figured it out. So she starts telling the story, and then she gets a few lines into it, and the exact inflation, everything, literally just her exact recording of herself, repeated but echoey and kind of a little bit quieter, starts saying it after her. And so there will be parts where she stops in between sentences, and you'll hear it keep going, and then it kind of like finishes as she starts the next one. So it kind of creates this really cool kind of round echoed effect to it. Really fucking cool. Didn't even need to be there. It could still have the same effect with just her voice, but adding that round in there, really fucking cool. And then I said, I really like the sounds of like a creaking door or wood in here, kind of like around the beginning of Jaguar God by Mastodon. They kind of had that sound in there, really, really cool. So those are the few things that we're just going to check out real fast. I just kind of want to hear what the instruments were doing here in the beginning, and then we're going to call it a fucking day. this is not what I thought was gonna happen today, but I'm really happy that it did. This is different. I like this. It's just like refreshing almost, just to have something like this oddly different. So let's listen to it. So I'm hearing a bass guitar. I assume it's a bass guitar. It technically could be the kind of the lower end of an electric guitar, but I'm pretty sure it's a bass guitar. Especially for how kind of slappy and gritty it is. And that's usually the kind of tonality that Otep's bassist goes for. So I'm going to assume it's the bass guitar. It's just very, very low, very rumbly, tons of fucking reverb and echo on it, just creating that crazy spacey, just fucking everywhere but nowhere at the same time, sourceless just sound. Really introducing this one to like letting you know what you're in for almost right from the get-go, until they kick it up another notch. And that sound, that kind of drone that I'm hearing at the bottom there, this kind of sounds like that kind of like high frequency sound, like if you have like a microphone, let's just say, I don't know, this microphone, you remember that I used to wear? I have this hanging up right over here, right? I have two hooks on my, it's really actually cool. I like this. I think I mentioned it before. I have two hooks on both sides of my desk here that can rise up, and it's a standing desk that I could just hook a headset on top of. It's really cool. But just kind of like that, where I had that kind of that droning frequency, just kind of sound to it. Like, it sounds like either that or like kind of white noise TV static going on underneath everything. Pretty cool. Kind of very interesting. That's interesting. That kind of just random. The only really thing that has only vocal thing that has notation in this entire thing. I'm not sure why that's there, but that's very, very interesting. It's creating that creepy, like, what's going on atmosphere to everything.
I had this dream. Whoa.
Yeah, that. I can't make the sound. That just like creaking sound sounds like a really squeaky wooden floorboards, or like a door just creaking open. I need some WD-40 up in that bitch. Happens in this ear, very loud, and then a little lighter but still very noticeable switches over to this ear, and then she starts talking. Now it took me. I thought it was going to change because like the first two blocks of text here are very kind of wide and whatnot, and then it kind of gets small. So I thought, oh, it's going to kick into a song once it gets around there. Once it got to around, I was forced to move between them past their swinging weapons. Then I realized, no, this is going to be the whole song. This is 100% going to be the entirety of the song. That's when it kicked in. Was around I got to that part. Anyways, let's listen to this round and the way she's saying all the stuff out.
Woke up to a grand commotion. And,
it's only in this ear that's repeating in this ear. The voice is in both, but the repeating, the round is in this ear, and I don't think it moves from this ear. That would be really cool if it kind of like slowly started to move, just like line by line, moved like one more click over to the other, and then started moving back. That kind of would have been a very interesting effect, but I think that might have taken away from what they were going for. But that would have been really cool, in all honesty.
he jumped from the blankets and ripped the door from its lock and rushed, ripped the door from its lock and blindly into the blackness.
She waits for the end of whip the door from its lock until she starts moving blindly into the blackness. Like, the way she plays with the repeat, it's not just she's just saying all the stuff out and just repeating and whatever. Like, she's like subconsciously taking note, like spacing these out intentionally to take note of the fact that it's going to repeat. That's intentional, and that's really cool, because a lot of people might have just been like, oh yeah, I'll just repeat it for a creepy haunting echoey effect. Like, she perfectly played it out as if it was a round, to have one finish before the other would begin again, and like taking a pause for, but not just pausing for no reason, but it takes a pause to increase tension of like what's going to be said next. And like all this actually, besides being just very well written, steeped in horror, but like the words, just like the story itself being very well written, but the way that she's doing it is actually incredibly intelligent and well written itself. There's really no good place to stop here, but that's pretty much all I really have for this. Like, we could just let it keep going. I don't think there's any reason to let it keep going, so we're just gonna call it there. But that just kind of really just wanted to highlight a few points in there that really emphasizes that, just how actually clever that was, like what she did with everything that was happening. Very minimal stuff even in this entirety of this song. Just like a occasional sound effect here and there. Just kind of the bass, just very reverb and echoey, just playing around every now and then, creating that creepy atmosphere, and just a voice. Like that's it. That's all there even was just a bass guitar, a few sound effects, and her voice. Fucking microphone, please. And her voice. And that was it. But found ways to write those small things in, that everything had a purpose, everything had its place, and it was done intentionally, and it was really well written. It was weird as fuck, but I liked that. I liked that a lot. That was good. Mic drop. Cap drop. That was good. That was really good. I'm still a little in shock, being caught by surprise by that one, because that's not what I thought we had today. But I think that is an amazing way to end out this album for the recording purposes and whatnot, because it's like, yeah, I don't think we even need to listen to bonus tracks. Like, that's the way to end this album right here. I liked that. I'm gonna cut the video again. Let me refresh my voice and stuff. I mean, the cut's not gonna matter to you. It's gonna be a split second for you guys, but I gotta get some drink, refresh my vocal cords here, and let's talk about what's coming next. All right, what we got coming up next here? If you didn't watch the Stitches one, or if this one happens to come out before the Stitches one, a little bit of this will be repeat. Something I need to talk about. I'm going to talk about what's coming up next, and then I'm going to talk about what's happening after that. There's going to be some special stuff happening after that, which, as I mentioned in Stitches, I think that's going to be awesome to really free me up, and also get stuff that you guys like coming back in rotation. It's going to be really awesome. But before that, let's talk about what's coming next. So next album we're going to touch here is Ginger. I probably, since I only recorded 2, I expect to record 5 today, but I only recorded 2 because I decided to cut out 3. I might actually start recording some Ginger. I actually could probably finish it if I wanted to, but maybe not. Maybe we'll get that halfway through or something. But we have Micro by Ginger, the Micro album. And that album, I believe, if I remember, I looked at it on the Stitches. I said how many songs were in. I'm pretty sure it was like 5. There's like 5 songs in that album. So it's a very small album, but we'll get back to that here in a moment when we talk about that. Alongside Ginger, we're going to have Epica, Design Your Universe. Now, I did do the first Epica album, never released it because it just, I hadn't found my style yet. Some of the songs I didn't really care for. And it just, so not only did some of the album, not all of it, but just a handful of songs of the album I was just like very meh about. But also, I haven't really found my style yet, so it wasn't really good from my end either. So it was just okay. So I was like, okay, well, we'll release In This Moment first, because that one that was like the third album I did, and that was the one I like found the way I like to do it, and it's just been evolving ever since. So I released that one first, and I was like, I'll release this one after, because I don't want Epica to be the first experience that people have with this. But then after In This Moment was pretty successful, and I kind of really liked the way I did that. I was like, Actually, I don't want to release the Epica album, so that album will never come out. The Phantom Agony will never come out. But there's some really good songs on that album. You should check it out. So we're going to be doing Design Your Universe. I'm skipping, I think, an album or two because I think Design Your Universe is going to be one of my favorite Epica albums. And then maybe we'll play around for different albums from there. But so we're going to be doing Ginger, Micro, and Epica Design Your Universe next. Now for Ginger itself and for any Nightwish going forward, I kind of going to change the way I do live stuff because before I used to listen to it all through studio and then I'd go back and do a handful of them live. I think I'm going to switch that up, which I hate the thought of that. The thought of that makes me nervous, but I'm at least going to give it a try with Ginger and see how it goes. The reason I say that is because I really enjoyed King of Everything. And but I mean, there's some examples from there, the ones we listened to live. Sit Stay Roll, I got one from all three. Well, from three of them. I think I listened to four. I can't 100% remember. From Sit Stay Roll Over, I Speak Astronomy, and Pisces. If I had heard Pisces live first instead of Pisces at the live session, I would have been like, yeah, what does this song sound like when she doesn't fuck it up? It wouldn't have been a great taste of that song. Now, Sit, Stay, Roll Over was pretty good. I was pretty close. There's just a few things that they do differently that when I hear it in the studio, I was like, oh, I really like the way they do that. Like the da 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 da, like that part in there. Fuck, during the chorus, that part is mwah. They don't do it like that live. And so, like, it's just like, I'm afraid that I'll be missing the little beautiful things like that. At the end of I Speak Astronomy on the studio, she fucking belts. She gives it everything she has. And live, she plays it a little reserved. So it's like, I feel like I'm going to be missing some fucking awesome power that they're going to have in the studio just so we can see her do it live. So I don't like the sound of that, but we'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance with Micro because it's a small album. I think there's only going to be one or two songs in there we even do live, which I think Teacher would definitely be one of them. Because that's the one that everyone seems to do live on that one. We'll give it a chance. If I hate it after that, maybe we don't do that. But the reason I want to do that is because I don't really like doing it studio first and then doing it live, because then all I'm doing for the live ones is just comparing the differences between studio, and that's just not as fun. So I want to see what it's like if I just come at it live first and see if I can catch things through there. And who knows, maybe I'll like that better. No idea. So that's what we're going to do for that. Moving past what we're going to do after Ginger's done. I want to do this when Ginger came back. I don't know why. Ginger just was going to be the album that started it all off again, because that's when I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I could just do that after Ginger, because then Ginger will be in the rotation. So I moved Ginger up. Originally it was supposed to be like 4 or 5 albums down. I was like, no, let's move that up to like the next album so we can get this happening faster. So once the last song of Ginger's Micro album comes out, then I'm going to open things up. I'm still going to be doing 2 CDs. As I said, Stitches probably going to be CDs that I kind of want to listen to, but who knows when those CDs comes out. People might like Epica. A bunch of people might flock to Epica, might like to watch that. And so I'm going to start releasing other videos on the side as well. Now these videos are all going to follow. There's going to be another CD, but I don't have to stick to that CD. Let's use Nightwish, Ginger, and Epica as an example. I think that's what I did before. The other one. So I might listen one day to the first Nightwish song in an album, and then the next day I might listen to the first Ginger song of another album. But I'm going to stay to that album, finish it out, do it in order like I would do if I was just going through the whole album. but it's going to release sporadically. You might get a Ginger song from one album one day. You might not get the second song from that Ginger album for another week or two. Who knows? But pretty much it's going to get the more popular ones that everyone likes to listen to, like Nightwish, Evanescence, Within Temptation. So far, at least, I should say. Nightwish, Evanescence, Within Temptation, Mastodon a little bit. We might go Mastodon, sure. In This Moment. Gonna do a few Camelots here and there. I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do with Camelot and just watch the music videos. But we'll probably release some of those. All the ones that people really like to watch on my channel. I'm gonna get back to those sooner. They're just going to be released sporadically. I might release none within a week. I might release like 5 or 6 or just 1 or 2, just a few handfuls of them here and there. Also on top of that, just kind of one-off songs that I've done before in the past, like Knox Hill, Tarja's solo stuff, De La Soul, who are some other ones, random In This Moment ones that aren't attached to an album. Probably a lot of those. Just stuff like that. Will probably be sprinkled throughout, just randomly will appear, because these aren't going to follow rotation. They're just going to show up randomly. You might get a CD one that we're going through, and then you might get a random one within the same day. You never know. It just depends how much I'm able to record. And there might be like preview ones coming in and out, like the same ones I gave examples of in the Stitches song. Like Linkin Park, there's 2 songs that I really want to listen to from Linkin Park before I decide which album I want to start listening to from them. So I might just record those 2 for fun and just sprinkle them in here and there. Also like Mushroom Head. Like, I really like The Heresy. Am I gonna like other songs from A Wonderful Life? I might go listen to 1 or 2 more, see if yes, I really want to do this full album, or it's just no, it was really just The Heresy. Who knows? But now I have the freedom to be able to do that. I think it's going to be more enjoyable for me. I think it's going to be more enjoyable for you guys, because as I said in Stitches, it wasn't 100% unforeseen. Like, there was a chance that Otep might have popped off and a lot of people were going to like it, but that was like a 50-50. Like, it was either that was going to be kind of big, like In This Moment or Nightwish, or no one was going to watch it. And the same thing with Epica. Epica might blow up and everyone might like to watch it, or like maybe it gets like 5 or 10 views a video. It could go either way. It really could go either way. I didn't expect Evanescence to get that much attention or Within Temptation, but they did. So you never know. But yeah, Otep did not get a lot of attention, did not get a lot of love. I get it. Stitches, that one was expected. I thought people might. I tried to get people into it, like, just listen to one, just check it out. Maybe you'll like it. I tried to get people invested in that one, but I knew that one had like a 80 to 90% chance that no one was gonna watch it. Those ones for me. But yeah, I think that this is going to be really good for me, because I can listen to whatever I want. If I just want to listen to a random song here and there to free myself up, to feel like I can kind of listen to whatever I want, then I can do that, and that'll be great. But I'll also be burning through 2 CDs at a time, 2 albums at a time, to listen to other stuff that I know I want to listen to a full album of. So you'll get random stuff that might be new to you, and you can kind of expand your music library like I'm doing. But also at the same time, if you don't want that, you'll get the stuff that you'll like from me. I can't promise you'll like it, because I have a tendency that if I don't like something, I'll let you know. And you might not like that, but in general, the artists that you like, and you'll be able to get more of that. So Ginger will be coming back into rotation sooner. Same with Nightwish, Evanescence, Within Temptation. Those ones I know guaranteed are going to come back into the rotation sooner. Jonathan Young will probably get in there as well, but I went through his 2014 stuff. I'm very soon going to be going through his 2015 stuff. A little spoiler for those of you still checking this out. Give you a heads up. And then once I'm done with that, then maybe Jonathan Young going for 2016 up. We'll start getting into the rotation and whatnot. Stuff like that. So that's what I got planned for the future. I hope those of you who stuck around for Otep enjoyed the album. I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely like there's definitely some bangers in this album. I ain't gonna lie to you. There was some really good songs in this album. Unfortunately, two of them I'd already listened to. Because if I would have just found Confrontation and Ghost Flowers just randomly throughout the album, I would have been like, holy shit, these songs are awesome. And unfortunately, those two, Milk of Regret, the other one. What was the other one? I have it over here. Hold on, give me a second. Whoop. This Camelot. Get out of here, Camelot. Invisible was pretty good too. That's not the one I was looking for, is it? Oh, Perfectly Flawed. That was another one that I really, really enjoyed. Noose and Nail was pretty good as well. But yeah, there was some bangers in here for sure. But I was looking for that one that I was gonna hear and just be like, holy shit. And I didn't get a whole lot of that this album. I got maybe 2 or 3 really good holy shit ones, but just that was about it, So it wasn't bad. I really enjoy Dr. Shemaya. That's just the way I like to go. I mean, I assume she is a doctor. Otherwise, I don't know why she would call herself Dr. Shemaya. Otep Shemaya Esquire. I don't know. Maybe just for funsies. I don't know. But I just like to call her Dr. Shemaya because it's fun. I think it sounds really cool, too. I love her rapping, singing style. It's really cool. And I love that she's not afraid to just get fucking brutally dark and vicious with it. As those can definitely be very enjoyable songs. So I had a good time. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good album. I liked it. So thank you for joining me. I will see you in some ginger and some epica. Prepare yourselves. Come with it. And I'll see you then.